everybody, Cobradvs, and it's part 4 of the Cobradvs 13 Days of Halloween special. And we're going to be doing today Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo. Just want to mention that this is probably, in fact, actually I know it will be, the last video dealing with the Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins games, because this is the only one that I have left, and prevents me from doing more. So let's go ahead and get started. So it's Super Ghouls and Ghosts as opposed to Ghouls and Ghosts on the Genesis. And I know a lot of people like this game. And this might be a surprise to some people, but of all the Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts games I've played, this was the least enjoyable for me. And I'll explain why. But first off, let's start with some good things. The good things: game looks great. Great music again. Game looks great. Great music. Fun to play. It's got an excellent intro that really works well. One thing I want to note is, like, in the beginning, it has this pretty cool intro, but it kind of like sets up like I would expect the game to be an RPG for some reason. I don't know. It just seems like, because the music, it kind of sounds like The Legend of Zelda, to be honest with you. The music does, The Link to the Past. It's kind of what the music reminds me of in the beginning. So anyway, so that's pretty much, it's fun to play. It's got good graphics, good music, and a great intro. That's pretty much where the fun ends for me. And here's why. The thing is, well, I guess we'll just start with the beginning. The graphics, I said they're good, but I actually prefer the Genesis Ghouls and Ghosts in that respect, because it's a lot darker. This one looks a little bright. It's a little, scarier, I guess, if you want to call it, on the Genesis. So, that's a notch toward the Genesis version. I mean, these graphics aren't bad at all. I just think the Genesis version suits the mood better. And the big problem is that this game is very difficult, but it's not difficult in the way that the game should be difficult. I mean, I think we can all agree that, let's say, Super Mario Bros. 3, that's a difficult game to beat, but it's difficult in a fair way. The problem with this game is it's difficult in completely unfair ways. Things happen and you don't know that they're going to happen. They'll kill you. It's a lot and a lot and a lot of trial and error, and that really makes it a little less fun. It's still fun to play, but it's just, at some point, it just is ridiculous, the amount of, like, times you have to play a certain area. And I'll show you some examples in the video of, there's just so much, it happens so often that I get screwed over for something that I didn't know was going to happen. And, I guess that's fine to do a little bit, but when it happens, like, every new section of the game, and you have to start the entire level over, it just gets repetitive and boring. Another thing I want to mention that is sort of a drawback to this game is there's a lot of slowdown. The game will actually, like, when there's too much stuff on the screen, I guess is what happens, it slows down immensely. And another problem is, you'll notice these caskets rising up out of the ground. Well, sometimes you don't see the caskets rising up out of the ground, and all you'll see is the zombie emerging. So you don't know that a casket is rising up, and it could be right in front of you, or it could even come up from under you, and the caskets will hurt you. So it's even unfair in that respect. You can't even see it happening. So there's the slowdown, there's the glitch, or the flickering and the disappearing, things like that. Another thing that got to me is the dragon in the beginning portion of the first level. When you get to him, the dragon's not hard to beat. It only takes like 3 or 4, hits. If that. I think if you hit him in the head, it takes less. But the thing is, when he shoots his fireball, it appears to be in front of the cages that you can go into, that you have to go into to defeat him. And that's fine. If you hit that fireball, it will hurt you. However, when you're inside and he shoots his fireball, it still appears to be in the foreground, but it still kills you even though you're in the background. So that's another thing you have to watch out for. And it's just things like this just continue to happen and happen and happen. And it really makes the game a lot less fun for me to play than it would Ghouls and Ghosts. on the Genesis, or even Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. And one more thing, the controls. I didn't notice this in previous Ghouls and Ghosts, but one thing they've added in this game is the ability to double jump, meaning once you're in the air, if you press the jump button again, you will jump a little bit more. And that's good to a degree, but it also creates another problem. There is absolutely zero way you can control where you're going to land the minute you press the jump button. You cannot, once you press that jump button, you're landing there. It doesn't matter what the hell you do, you're landing in that spot. And that really, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the older Castlevania games where there was no control over where you could jump, other than once you press the jump button. But this is 16-bit. This is not an old game. Well, it's old, of course, but it's not, you know, the first in the series. They knew they fucked up. And they had to know that this is a precedent that they set basically with this one, as far as I'm concerned. And it just kind of blows, and it makes the game a lot more difficult than it has to be. Because, for instance, let's say you're standing on one of these pillars, and you decide to jump. Whoop! And as soon as you press that jump button, a casket emerges from right where you're going to land. And you cannot change your direction. So you're going to land on that casket no matter what the hell you do. So, it's just dickish. Another thing that that is good about this game that I didn't mention before is there's actually power-ups. There's your standard, weapons that you can change and get new weapons and things like that. But there's also, when you unlock, or when you break a treasure chest open, there can also be special armor upgrades. The first one is green, and it makes your weapon much more powerful. It'll turn it, like, let's say I have the bow and arrow weapon, where you fire 2 arrows at once. When you have the special suit, it'll fire 2 arrows, but they'll be, like, a lot more powerful. So it's basically the same thing, but makes you more powerful. And then there's actually another one after that you can get that is gold. And it does the same thing. It just makes your attack more powerful. But here's the kicker. Those are only weapon upgrades. They upgrade your armor in no way. Because if you have even the gold armor, and you get hit once, you're back to in your boxers. That seems a little unfair to me, because the things don't appear too often, and for it just to be like, bam, once you get hit, you're back to square one, it just seems like a real dick move, and it just adds to the difficulty of the game, but it just seems like unfair. So there's just a few nitpicks there, but overall, Super Ghouls and Ghosts is a pretty fun game to get. I'd recommend it, I guess, but again, it's very frustrating, and I would actually recommend the Ghouls and Ghosts on the Genesis over this version, just simply because I had more fun with it. That might not be everybody's opinion, but I had more fun with the Genesis version than I did for this. An interesting note, though, for some reason, and I can't explain this, I played this one a lot longer than I played the Genesis one, even though I was having more fun with the Genesis one. I can't explain that. I don't know why that is. Maybe I just wanted to see how far I could get. But nonetheless, guys, that's Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo. So check it out if you get a chance, and stay tuned for tomorrow with another entry into the Cobradvs 13 Days of Halloween special. And stay tuned for tomorrow when we have another video. Take care.